Well, that was shit. So, anyway, hello. And I'm going to do this again. So, hello, my name's Mark. Awkward thing, I've been given this challenge. I'm being given this challenge by my friend Louise Lee. And the challenge is the 22-day challenge. Now, this isn't the one, in the words of Ronnie Corbett. This isn't the one that is 22-day vegan challenge, which is a challenge that Beyonce has set. Me personally, apparently she's set a vegan challenge. And thank God it isn't that one, eh? No, this is the 22-day challenge, which is 22 days of doing press-ups, 22 press-ups, to raise awareness of the suicide rate associated with post-traumatic stress for veteran service persons. Now, the three things that I don't like. One is giving to charity, not because I actually quite like the idea of giving to charity, and I would love to give to charity, and there are plenty of charities I'd like to give money to, but I always have a real panic about giving money away because I personally don't know where money is coming from half the time, and I'm quite financially insecure. Secondly, I don't like virtue signaling. I don't like that whole sort of culture of all one's no good, because I care about things. I do care about things, obviously, but I don't want to make a big song and dance about caring about things, because always the implication is that other people don't care, and I think most people care. And the third thing I don't like is physical exercise. Never been particularly good at it. So, however, this is going to involve some physical exercise. Now, before I started this, I wanted to do some research into it. And the reason I'm going to take on this one is because the cause of suicide rate amongst veterans connects with a lot of things that I have been talking about for the last 3 years. For example, the gender empathy gap, male disposability, high male suicide rate, and yes, I think that's society's this is connected with the empathy gap, really. Society's view of men, because as part of our role as protectors, we are sort of seen as the more violent sex. And there is a video that I would want to connect you to, which I'm probably going to put a link to. I can't remember, I think it's called something like Natural Born Killers ? But it's about the difficulty of training men to kill other men. In the First and Second War, the majority of servicemen that were sent out killed no one. They were trained to, obviously, but they couldn't. When it came to pointing a gun at somebody, they would hesitate, and in the moment of hesitation, they would see the humanity and be unable to shoot. And in fact, most would shoot over their heads. This is mentioned in The Men Who Stare at Goats, and it's also mentioned in this video, which I'm going to link you to. Now, I was first made aware of this challenge by Liana, who was also made this challenge, and I also believe that she didn't do the full 22 days, but she wanted to talk about the charities involved, and one of them is carrythechallenge.org, which I suggest you check out, and I did donate. And I'm not doing that like, oh, am I good? I'm doing that because I hardly ever donate to charity, as I pointed out. Point one, I don't like giving to charity, but I did. Carry the Challenge, which is associated with destigmatizing post-traumatic stress and um, finding ways of helping veterans feel useful. Now, one of the links that I discovered while I was doing a little bit of research, this is a little disheartening right at the beginning, before I start, saying how this is pointless. And this whole 22-day challenge thing is rather pointless and isn't helping anyone. And when I say I would be a lie to say I'm not doing this for the sake of my health, I am doing it for the sake of my health, because I could do with a reason to do some physical exercise. Because as I pointed out, I don't like physical exercise. Always last to be chosen for PE, or always last to be chosen for team games in PE, which kind of put me off. The whole physical education thing was because I wasn't much good at it. It didn't reward me, and because it didn't reward me, I kind of developed a hatred of it. So I'm just going to move in very, very close, and the reason I'm moving very, very close is because I'd like to read you this article. This is an article written by a veteran who is saying that which is, no matter how well-intentioned the people are who participate in slacktivism, the thing about the 22 push-ups or 22-day challenge is it doesn't raise much awareness of the problem, doesn't tell people how they can help, where they can donate, or do much of anything except put somebody on a video doing press-ups. I think that's probably, this is very valid criticism. If we're not actually giving any information, then what is the point? So I thought before I'd start, I would read you a bit more of this article. He says, one day I was an instructor in signals intelligence, the next I was working in a casual retail job in a camping store with 16-year-olds still in school. I had 6 years experience in the military intelligence field with a bachelor's and master's degree. You go from being in a job where society respects and looks up to you and where you know that you are doing extremely valuable, important work, to being a nobody who sits in a cubicle, stacks a shelf or cleans dishes. It's immensely damaging because no one understands what you're going through. You can't lean on your team because you aren't part of a team anymore. You're isolated and alone in the world, and depression can set in quickly. That's my experience, and I didn't even participate in the conflict overseas. All of my work was done in my home country. Imagine being seriously injured, flown back to your country, and then being alone in hospital for weeks on end. Your buddies aren't coming to see you, they're all still over there fighting. The people who do come to visit aren't doing so very often. You can't open up to them because they aren't military, they wouldn't understand. You don't understand if you haven't been there. Still, the biggest problem I have with 22 push-ups for 22 days is it doesn't help solve the problem. Literally nothing. And even if you can't ever quite get it, if you weren't there, there are things anyone can do to assist veterans who are dealing with post-traumatic stress or depression. 1. Donate whatever you can to charities that help veterans. 2. Speak to veterans on Veterans Day or any day. I think actually the any day is perhaps the more important bit because it's almost like Christmas, isn't it? We all visit our relatives at Christmas, but if you have an isolated one, it's perhaps the days that aren't Christmas is the ones where they perhaps need it most. And listen to what they have to say. If they want to talk about how great their time in the service was, fine. If they want to talk about how much they hate the government, fine. If they want to talk about how war is a bunch of bullshit and they burned all their medals, fine. They've earned the right to talk about it however they wish. Be there for veterans you do know and actively involve them in life. Arrange for others in your circle to do the same. One of the biggest problems veterans face when they return home from conflict is the fact that they have gone from being with a group of people who spend all their time together and have all each other's backs, to being alone in an apartment. Stop making them feel like victims. Remove the word from your vocabulary. What veterans need more than anything is to feel useful and needed. He also recommends reading Sebastian Junger's book Tribe, which is available from Amazon, as most books are, which goes into many of the reasons why we're seeing higher than ever rates of post-traumatic stress in veterans. Reading this book will give you more awareness of veterans' issues than watching or participating in the 22 push-ups challenge. So I'm going to put a link to that article and also a link to carrythechallenge.org, which is the charity that is destigmatizing post-traumatic stress and providing counselling to veterans. And then I'm going to do this challenge. So I'll just sort of check firstly, am I visible? Am I going to be visible? Well, I'll come back here and yes, there we are, visible. Good. Actually, no, I'm not sure I am visible. I need to put this down just a tip. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So, you ready for this? One. Well, there we go. So that's one. So join me tomorrow when I do my second one. What? All at once? Well, then what do I do for the other 21 days? Well, another 22? You are kidding me. Alright. 22 today, is it? Alright. Then 22 tomorrow. Right, okay. I haven't even worked out how many that is. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Right, okay. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There you go, I hope you're satisfied with yourself. Right. Quite hot. So, just wait for that video to refresh. One of the problems with this application is the refresh rate on this application. Oh, stiff all over. The refresh rate on this application is really very poor, which means that I keep moving very quickly from one place to another. I don't know if this is to do with the application or it's on my computer. I don't know if it's to do with my internet connection rate. But those muscles I haven't used for a long time. It's very poor. But it means that the image rate will be very good. So what I'd like to do, if there's 22 days of doing this, is say something useful every time, so it isn't just doing press-ups. So I have a lot of friends on my Facebook I know who are interested in men's issues, and some of them may in fact be veterans. If they want to let me know of charities I could talk about, or veteran related issues I can raise, particularly veteran related issues to do with reintegration back into society after returning from conflict or after leaving the military institutions, please let me know so I can say something before I do the press-ups. So it's not just showing off the fact that I can do press-ups. That's really about it. So what's that? Quarter of an hour? There's 13 minutes. There we go. It's a 13-minute video. There we go. A friend of mine keeps saying you got to do videos. You got to do videos. So I'm doing one, although it's not really one of the ones that's encouraged me to do. Oh, that sounded suspect. It sounded a bit like I was being encouraged to do porn or something. That's not what I meant at all. I think he wanted me to make some of the arguments that I've made in comments in terms of some sort of vlog. Yes, this isn't that yet, but maybe I'll bring something up later. But anyway, so at least I've got a video camera now, and I found an application where I can do videos, even though they've got an appalling refresh rate. And I've got to find another way of doing that because anyway, out of breath now, almost 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop and try and make that into a video, see if that's at all watchable.